one of the most exciting developments in working memory in the last 40 years probably has been the demonstration of the power of individual differences in working memory. So back in 1980, Dannemann and Carpenter in Carnegie Mellon were interested in the role of working memory in language comprehension. They thought they would try and develop a measure of working memory capacity, working memory span, and they based their measure on the assumption that working memory had to both store and process at the same time. And so they presented their subjects with a series of sentences which the subject had to read out loud, and then after the last sentence recall the final word of each sentence. So it might be the sailor came from home with a parrot. Iceland is very cold in the winter, and then you'd have to recall parrot winter. People can do this. Typically, when it gets much beyond 3 sentences, it becomes difficult, and 4 or 5 is quite a high span. But to me, somewhat surprisingly, performance on this predicted the capacity of these Carnegie Mellon students to perform on reading comprehension tests taken from scholastic aptitude measures. Subsequently, dozens and dozens of studies have looked at individual differences, showing that not just this task but other tasks that have in common that they need to combine processing and storage, that these predict a whole range of cognitive measures, not just language comprehension, but programming skills, the capacity to take notes adequately, performance on standard intelligence tests, and even some rather basic capacities like the ability to withstand the temptation to move your eyes to a stimulus that's just come on and move the other way. So a whole wide range of things are predicted by these tasks, and the question is why? Well, that's led to a very vigorous area of research on individual differences and attempts to tease apart what is it, what's the gold standard? Because in a sense you could say this is very highly correlated with standard measures of intelligence. If we knew what was at the heart of this, would we know what was at the heart of intelligence? And there are people, particularly, for example, Randy Engel and his group over in the States, that have done very extensive work combining individual difference and standard experimental paradigms to try and tease apart what's going on. In general, they agree that there do seem to be a cluster of executive processes that are important. It seems likely that one of them is the capacity to inhibit irrelevant material, either to shut out irrelevant stuff around you or to shut out interfering material from memory. But it's not clear absolutely whether that itself is crucial or whether that itself depends on attention that is needed for this. So this is a very active, very busy area, but still not entirely clear-cut.